Hello everyone, and welcome back to part 3 of my series. This one is actually going to be on the B6 size. I'm going to start with the B6 Franklin Covey Daily Planner, which I have currently housed in a Franklin Covey leather cover. And then I'm going to show you the B6 size B6 Slim size Jibun Techo, and how I was thinking of using them in collaboration with each other. But I'm kind of on the fence, so I'm hoping for your input on this one, because as you know, in part 1 I told you that I would stick with the A5 Jibun Techo as opposed to the Agendio. And then in part 2 of this series, I mentioned that I was going to stick with the Hobonichi Weeks as opposed to the personal planner due to the rings, etc. If I could find inserts that were one-sided, then it might work, but we're not going to go there right now. We're not going to open up another can of worms. Anyway, so the B6 size. The daily planner is the one I took to New York last week. I'm going to show you how I used it, what the features are, and why I think that I can't get along with it for this year. And then show you the Jibun Techo and why I thought maybe I could use it in collaboration with the daily page. I know someone else mentioned that that's what they were doing, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, but let's walk through it. So we'll start with the Franklin Covey Day on a Page planner. Again, this is a Franklin Covey coverette. It's a leather planner. It's actually very, very soft, no pebbles, but not much space to add extra things. It does have 3 pockets in the back. You can see that it says Franklin Covey, and there's a model number 60548. There's also a slip pocket and a built-in pen loop. It's not elasticated. I did put these little plastic pockets from the dollar spots pretty much everywhere on the Franklin planner so that I can determine if I wanted to use one of the Hobonichi page markers to hold my current page in place. So I just used it in this manner so that I could grab hold of the page. I'm not using it right now, but that's what they're there for. So let's go to the front. This year, the Franklin Planner B6 size, and I believe the A5 size, came with a separate book for the long-term project planning, etc. In the 2017 version, it was built in to the front of the book. So all of this stuff that was before the monthly pages were all in the beginning of the B6 planner in 2017. Now they've separated it and made its own booklet. So that is what is in the left-hand side. And to be honest, I only used 2 of the pages so far. One being the financial page, which I've shown in the last 2 videos in a different spot, in the Jibun and the Hobonichi, etc. And then I have that same household management section in the kind of like in the notes section of this booklet. And I just use the Planner Chick Design stickers for the month to indicate which month was which. So that's the only 2 things I have in that. I could, in essence, take this out and leave it at home and just carry this one. And then I think it was Tammy, oh, please forgive me if it wasn't, but she showed how she made a dashboard cover for the first page, and so I did the same. I couldn't get the lamination quite right, so I have some tape holding it together at the bottom. But you just slip the page in, and then I made on Tomoe River paper, I printed out the Filofaxi Year at a Glance for 2018. This is that same kind of tracker where I track my husband's days off, vacation, etc. And it's just taped in with Tape Runner on the one page, but it happens to kind of naturally cling to the dashboard, which is great because it opens it right up. There's the same year at a glance, and then this little tab or clip points me to the current month as well as what week I'm on. So here's just a high-level overview of what I have scheduled for the month. And then we go to the daily pages. Now, how this daily planner differs from 2017 was in the daily pages, the Mondays could vary on when they started. It could be on the left or the right, but now they always have a week in review on the left with a Monday start on the right. So I'm going to show that to you. Previously, they didn't have a week in review. So what you had to do was kind of go to your monthly page. Let me see if I have one of the monthly pages. And I had personal tasks and business tasks along with the KonMari decluttering challenge going on. But this is no longer part of the monthly page. Now they have it over to the right hand side. I'll show that to you in the monthly view. So here's the master goals, tasks, and personal items. There's really no place to have an index, which is what this was, the index for the month, and then the household and business. I think I preferred this because there was more space to write. This is just way too tiny for me to write all these things in, so I don't use it. Oh well. Then, like I've said, the weekly pages don't start consistently with a week on review. Now, I have it clipped to the weekly compass. So here we have at the top, it's supposed to, I've repurposed it for what you're supposed to do, but it's supposed to be your big rocks for your health, your business, financial, social, what do you call it? Your friends, meeting with your family, etc., stuff like that, what you want to accomplish. And then you break it down even further. And then you, based on what you put into for your goals or your weekly what you want to get accomplished that week, then you break that down even further to push you further along in the week by getting these tasks done, by breaking it down into smaller chunks. Then you assign it to a specific day. I didn't do that. What I do at the top is I put the Bible study that I do, my current projects, and anything that I need to follow up, like tasks that need to be done throughout the week, but aren't assigned to a specific day. Then on the daily sheet, I usually use the left column for business tasks, the middle and the right column for personal tasks or chores. I'll also write in which Bible reading I'm going to do for the day, and then the schedule, any notes. I'll take this off, but normally I just clip it so that I can quickly go to the weekly compass when I need to. So this has a ton of whiteout because of my travel plans that got changed. Here's yesterday, and then this is today. So, it changes, but the problem I think I have is having to switch back to the weekly page. I think I'll forget. So having a week at a glance in front of me all the time with my weekly to-dos on the left, like the Jibun offers, I think will work better for me. And then I was thinking, well, I could use it to just document notes. So for example, if in the Jibun, and I'll just open up the B6 Jibun from last year real quick. Say for example, my week got kind of crazy and I needed to write a note about an event that took place. I could turn to that day and write the notes for it, and then put a thing that says FC page, just FC as a note, so I knew that there were notes on that specific meeting. However, it's another binder, or it's another book I'd have to carry around. So, and then I feel obligated to fill in the rest of this. So if I'm only going to use it for notes, why not just have a notebook with the Jibun Techo? So I'm going to set this aside for now, and then I'm going to show you what I did with the B6 Jibun, because I did use this last year at the beginning of the year, differently than what I explained how Yukiko demonstrated it in hers. So I try to do a sample page, which is here. This is a sample page of my A5. So disregard the dates at the top because they don't coincide with the current week. So all I did was duplicate this week's info into the B6 size because I was curious as to could I get it all in with the smaller columns. Again, it would be kind of like going to the Agendia with spiral bound. But again, it's the fun of setting up this week, current projects, etc., putting in some colorfulness about it. So I just tried to lay this out to see if it would work. Yes, it can work. It's very small. I feel like I have to get even smaller with my handwriting, and then it starts looking sloppy. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Now, granted, here's the life book still in here. Still has everything that the Jibun Techo life book has. But then I put the Nanami Cafe notebook that's a B6 size into here to kind of, number one, bulk up the B6 Apunto that I have this housed in, because since this is a slim binder, without it, I'll take this off. Without it, it's kind of not full enough, and I feel like it would slide around. I do have the bottom cut for a little on a little bit of it because last year I had it in a different binder, but I think that putting in the cafe notebook really makes it sit tight in here. So anyway, so the purpose I thought for the cafe note is to use it as a notes page for projects that I need to reference or collections that aren't necessarily in the B6 book, like well, there's a book log. I mean, just everything is already in there, but if I want to do pen, like I already put pen test samples of some of my favorite pens, etc. I think kind of like the Hobonichi weeks where I have a bunch of like extra fun stuff like weight loss tracker and things like that. So tell me your thoughts. What would you choose if you had to go between the Hobonichi weeks, the A5 Jibun Techo, or the B6 Jibun Techo? Both of these are the same book, just in different sizes. This is Hobonichi Weeks, but it already has all the most of my collections already set up in it. And then but they're all week at a glance. So what do you guys think? Which one should I go with? Help me decide, please. I just don't know. Help me decide. I'd love to hear your comments. A, B, or C? A5, B6, or Hobonichi Weeks? I know the C doesn't correspond to the weeks, but A, B, or C, which one? Help me. I look forward to hearing your comments. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.